was never the type to believe in urban legends. Ghost stories, missing hikers, eerie warnings, they were all just tales to keep kids from wandering too far. But after what happened on my last camping trip, I know one thing for sure. Some stories exist for a reason. It started as a regular trip. My friend Mark and I had been planning a weekend getaway into the deep woods, somewhere isolated, untouched. He knew about this spot, way off the beaten path, surrounded by towering trees and thick brush. No one goes there, he'd said. We'll have the whole place to ourselves. That should have been the first red flag. We drove 5 hours out, the last hour on a dirt road that barely looked drivable. The sun was already low when we arrived. The air smelled damp, the woods unervingly silent. We pitched our tents, built a fire, and got settled. Everything seemed fine, until night fell. Around 1 a.m., Mark nudged me awake. "Did you hear that?" I groggily sat up. The fire had died down, and the darkness around us felt thick, too thick. "Hear what?" I mumbled. "Voices," he whispered. "Someone's out there." I listened. First, I didn't hear anything, just the rustling of leaves. Then it came, a low murmur, indistinct but definitely human. We grabbed our flashlights and scanned the trees. Nothing, no movement, but the feeling of being watched was overwhelming. Then, from the corner of my eye, I saw it. A figure, just standing between the trees, barely visible in the shadows. "Hello," Mark called out. No answer. The figure didn't move. Mark took a step forward, and as he did, something in the distance snapped. A branch breaking underfoot. We turned toward the sound, shining our lights, but again, nothing. When we turned back, the figure was gone. At that moment, my gut told me, we weren't alone out here. We rushed back to our tent, locking ourselves in like fabric and zippers could protect us. Neither of us spoke, just sat there, listening. Every so often, we'd hear movement outside, branches shifting, the crunch of leaves. But no footsteps, like whatever was out there wasn't walking, it was crawling. And then the voices started again. But this time, they were closer and clearer. Mark gripped my arm. They're laughing. My blood ran cold. He was right. The murmurs had turned into whispers, then into giggles. Twisted, breathy laughter surrounding us. I turned off my flashlight, holding my breath, trying not to make a sound. Then, right outside our tent, a voice whispered, "Asterisk, let us in. Asterisk." I stopped breathing. My body froze. Mark's grip on my arm tightened. We didn't move, didn't even blink. Then, something brushed against the fabric of the tent. Slowly, deliberately. And then, the zipper started to move. Mark screamed, kicking the side of the tent. The giggling stopped. Silence swallowed the air. Then, footsteps. Rapid, retreating into the woods. We didn't sleep that night. At the first light of dawn, we packed up in record time and bolted to the car. But as we threw our gear into the back seat, I noticed something that made my stomach churn. Tied to the antenna of my car was a small, wooden carving, a twisted, deformed figure. Its head was tilted at an unnatural angle, mouth carved into a wide, grotesque grin. Beneath it, carved into the hood of my car, was a message. "See you next time." We never spoke about it again. We never went back. And to this day, I don't know who or what was out there with us. All I know is that we were never supposed to leave.